Republican lawmakers are challenging the Obama administration's decision to delay a key piece of the president's health care law until after the midterm election. In fact, the House Ways and Means Committee is going to be holding a hearing tomorrow to investigate whether the White House has the authority to push back the mandate on employers to provide coverage. Republican Senator Bob Corker says delaying the provision is not enough.
I think just moving it back a year is not going to undo the uncertainty that people have. So I think the administration is recognizing that this policy is very damaging to the employment in our nation, and I'm glad they've taken this step. And yes, there's many other pieces of this, if not all, I'd like to see undone.
Wyoming Senator John Barrasso is chairman of the Senate Republican Policy Committee. He joins us now. Senator, thanks for taking a few moments. You may have noticed that some former federal judges and some constitutional law experts are all saying what the president is doing here is illegal, and they point to this provision. We'll put it up on the screen. This is the Affordable Care Act, Section 1513. Effective date: the amendments made by this section shall apply to months beginning after December 31, 2013. Senator, the word shall is mandatory. There's no choice. There's no discretion. Would you agree that the president cannot simply impose the mandate whenever he wants to?
Well, I agree with you, Greg. It's interesting, though, if the president has the right to pick and choose on this, then he ought to do what all Americans want, which is to give a permanent delay to the entire health care law. This health care law is unraveling on the president in face of the American people's really opposition to it. You know, people wanted health care reform because of the cost of their care, and under this health care law we see insurance costs going up, the cost of care going up. This is turning into a costly failure.
Yeah, and it's not just the delay on employers. He's granted more than 2,000 waivers. There's no authority in the act for that. Most recently, we found out, he's going to institute the honor code instead of verification for subsidies and exchanges. And again, no authority for that in the act. Do you think this president is breaching his constitutional duty to faithfully execute the laws as written?
Well, I think we have an imperial presidency where the president is going way beyond his authority. This isn't the first time. He's done it with work for welfare issues. He's doing it now in the health care law. I think that this, in terms of patients and the providers of health care and the payers of health care, are all finding that this law is unworkable, it is unpopular, it is unaffordable, and now we see it unraveling in front of the American people. The president talked about some glitches in the law. A senator, I think, being more honest, a Democrat senator, called it an upcoming train wreck, and now they're trying to put some of the unpopular parts of the law beyond the election. To me, it looks like a cynical ploy on the part of the president to try to get beyond the 2014 elections. But people are continuing to see the cost of their care and of their insurance go up and up and up in spite of the president's promises.
Well, the president says he's all about fairness, fair share and all of that. But I wonder if it's really fair to give large companies an extra year, giving them an advantage. Small businesses and individuals don't get the same benefit. It seems a little unfair. What are you going to do about it? You and your colleagues going to do about it, if anything?
Yeah. Well, I want to get this delay going for everyone, for the entire law, specifically with the individual mandate, because that's still there. That people still have to, by January 1st, prove that they have health insurance or pay a fine or a penalty or a tax, whatever you want to call it. The law still stands for that. So if the president has the authority to delay one part, I think he ought to delay all of the parts. And then I don't want just a one-year delay. I want to permanently delay, or actually repeal, this entire health care law, which I think, as somebody that's practiced medicine for a long time, listened to my patients, this isn't what they're looking for in health care reform.
Yeah, well, the CBO indicates that this delay is going to cost taxpayers about $10 billion. And that after the CBO already determined that the cost of the Affordable Health Care Act is really double, up to $1.8 trillion. Maybe you could rename it the Unaffordable Health Care Act?
Well, many people have done that. You know, they came out with another 606 pages of regulation on Friday, July 5th. It wasn't because they wanted the world to know about it. And even the state of Massachusetts has now applied for a waiver because, Greg, you brought up waivers. They've applied for a waiver from parts of the health care law. And the president says that his health care law was based on the Massachusetts law. So even those who it was based upon, even they won out.
Senator John Barrasso, thank you very much for being with us, sir.
Thank you, Greg.